Hey, what's up guys? Before we get into this video, you should give this video a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of March, so if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks guys. So if you don't know, the new Animal Crossing game, Animal Crossing New Horizons, is actually coming out next month, March the 20th to be specific, and I'm very excited for it. It's probably going to be a day one buy for me. So today I'm going to be going over some new features and just overall why I'm excited for the new game. The main thing that I noticed when the game was first revealed was its graphics. I know the graphics don't necessarily mean that the game will be amazing, but the graphics look really good for a Switch game especially. They're a huge jump up from New Leaf, which was on the 3DS, and going on to New Leaf, I got New Leaf almost as soon as it came out as well, and that was 7 years ago, I believe. So I haven't actually played Animal Crossing for at least 5 years, and I really enjoyed that game, but this game looks to be everything New Leaf did, but just better, and with loads more to do. I really like the new setting for the game as a whole. So you being stranded on a desert island is really interesting to me. There's loads that you can do with it. They've just shown terrain altering features that you can unlock. Looks like towards the end of the main game. I know that the game can go on pretty much forever. From what I can tell, I think it's towards the end of the tutorial phase, I guess you'd call it. Once you've done a bit of everything, it should let you alter the terrain. And it looks like you can pretty much change the entire island if you wanted to. And I quite like the sort of randomly generated islands anyway, so I probably won't mess around with it too much, but like they showed in the Direct, you can do slight alterations to add things like stairs, which has never been in the game for some reason, and they look great. And even if you don't want stairs to be there, they've added new equipment, such as the ladder that they shown off a few days ago, which basically lets you go from one level up to the next level without the need for stairs or for walking around. It's sort of similar to the pole that you can use to go over rivers, which they also didn't have in the older games. You had to build bridges. So yeah, you can build new lakes, new waterfalls, anything really. You can change the entire structure of the island, which I think is really cool. As I said before, all the new tools they've implemented are much appreciated. There's even a sort of tool quick select, so you don't need to go into your inventory to swap tools or anything anymore. You can just press a button and the circle appears around, well, the options appear around your character, and you can just quick select one of them. There's a lot of little quality of life improvements in the game. I won't go over all of them, but a lot of them are things people have wanted for a while. For example, when moving furniture in the houses, your character's no longer in the house itself, and you don't need to drag around your furniture or anything. It's more like a proper home designer, and you don't need to worry about your character getting stuck in a corner and sort of making a puzzle out of placing certain objects in certain areas, because you can just place them anywhere. You can place stuff on walls, which you could anyway, but I think you can be more specific about those kind of things now. Obviously you can still upgrade your house. I don't know if you can get an upstairs anymore, they didn't show it, but I would assume that you can. The town halls will be back, not when you first start the game, but eventually it will be there. Isabelle's back. The museum's back, which I was pretty certain would be back, but some people weren't sure because they hadn't shown it. And from what I've seen, it looks really good. And it looks like there's more stuff to do. The online multiplayer is much better than I expected from a Nintendo game especially. You can have up to 8 people, I believe, online visiting your island. And you can also choose between making them friends or best friends. Now the distinction between that is, if you make someone your best friend, they can do pretty much anything on the island. They can chop down your trees, presumably put furniture down and take furniture away, that kind of thing. And regular friends can pick flowers and weeds by the looks of it, not maybe shake some trees, but they can't actually affect your island too greatly, which is handy. And I didn't think they would implement a best friends type of feature. I thought anyone who came to your island would have limited abilities, but it looks like it's just full on multiplayer, which is great. I don't think you can set up a house on someone else's island in online multiplayer anyway. There's also local multiplayer with up to 4 people. The way that works is also quite clever. So you have 4 people running around on the screen, but you pick who is the leader. Well, it looks more like each person can press a button on their controller to make them the leader, which might be a little bit annoying, but overall it sounds like a good system, so you can change instantly and it lets people do most things that they want to do very quickly. Like if someone else wants to go to the shop or whatever, they can just change themselves to be host instantly or leader and do it, and then someone else can take over, and it's just great. Obviously placing stuff outside, like furniture and everything, we've known that since they've announced the game, but I don't think people realise how big of a feature this is. We've never been able to do anything like this. New Leaf was probably the closest with the mayor projects that you could do. They still weren't as open-ended in terms of what you could do as what you can do now with furniture. And even the furniture's customizable. You can change the wood, the fabric. There's an insane amount of customization that you can do. They even have a camera mode in the game and a camera island, I guess you call it. I don't know what it's called, but there's sort of an island specifically made to take pictures on, which should be quite fun. You can also customize your character properly now when you start the game. As far as I know, there's no actual quiz anymore, or if there is, it might just sort of set your default character, but you can still adjust it. But I'm pretty sure now there's full customization. You can choose the hair, the skin color, everything before you start the game, and it's not sort of predetermined by your answers anymore. A smaller feature for me, but I know some people like it, is you can choose which hemisphere you want your island to be in. So if you live in Australia or Southern Africa or somewhere in the Southern Hemisphere, you can pick that and the seasons will change accordingly, which again doesn't really affect me, but I know it'll be nice for a lot of people. The little phone that your character carries around now is very interesting to me. So you can there's apps on that phone, and there's Nook Miles, which to me are basically like built-in achievements in the game that give you rewards as well. And I think completing those will be very fun, because I did find when I played Animal Crossing Wild World, it was sort of too open-ended and not too much to do in the game. I couldn't fully get into it. New Leaf was a lot more interesting for me, and I stuck with it for a lot longer. But I think with this game having so much more content and sort of achievements built in, I think I'll stick around for a lot longer. And finally, the crafting system that they've added looks amazing. I really love games where you get materials, you learn new patterns and build bigger and better things. And that looks like exactly what this game is going to have. So like when you hit rocks now, instead of just getting money, you can get different kinds of stones and all sorts. Even when you chop down trees, you'll get wood that you can use to craft. It all looks really good. And they might even add more crafting recipes in the future through updates, because they've already said they're going to be doing free updates in the future, which right now just seems to be for seasonal events, but you know, they could add anything really that they want to. Finally, one of the smaller things is the Nintendo Switch Online app. Now normally I don't like these, I'd rather everything should be built into the game, but the online app seems quite useful this time actually. So one of its main features is being able to take pictures of QR codes from the 3DS games and basically import your patterns that you've already created on the 3DS into the Switch game, and it'll update them, it'll smooth them out. It won't just be pixelated, at least that's what it looked like in the trailer. And for something like that, like obviously the Switch doesn't have a built-in camera, so I think it's quite useful. It also has a messaging system, a real messaging system that I don't think is in any other Switch first-party game. And I was sort of hoping they'd add something like this to Switch Online in general, but I mean, at least it's in Animal Crossing. Yeah, I'm overall happy with almost everything I've seen. Like I mentioned yesterday, Cloud Save's situation I'm not a big fan of, but that's just one small imperfection. So yeah guys, will you be buying the game? Let me know in the comments. If you give this video a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah,